Hi, my name is Chelsea Brown, and for my final project, I decided to speak on intertextuality in film. The textbook defines intertextuality as the shaping of one text by other texts, or the interrelationship between texts. But what does that actually mean? The term intertextuality was first shared by Julia Kristeva in the late 1960s, and it builds on ideas from another theorist, Mikhail Bakhtin, who suggests that all human communication is dialogic and contributes to an ongoing dialogue. All words are reacting to something shared previously, and those words themselves are chosen with the anticipation of how they will be understood by those who hear them. Basically, there's no way that we can't be influenced by what's happening around us, and we are constantly thinking about how what we're saying is going to be received. And that's how we communicate. And film is a mode of communication, so the theory applies here as well. All film is a response to other films, and all films are created with the anticipation of how they'll be received. So they're influenced by other films, they are influenced by the world around them, which is influenced by other films, which creates the cycle that the text refers to of film begets more film. Essentially, films don't exist in a vacuum. They are always influenced by the world around them and other films that they share a universe with. Thus, the conversation is infinite and universal, and in this way contributes to an ongoing universal conversation. But why use it? As you can see, this element of filmmaking is a bit philosophical and kind of mirrors the chicken or the egg question. Who is influencing who? Are you influenced by something you saw or the film that influenced what you saw? So in that way, is intertextuality a choice that a filmmaker can actually make and be strategic about? I would say some parts, yes, but overall, no. I don't think that intertextuality is a choice. Every film is going to have some form of it, but the way it comes through and the choice to lean into it or be avoidant to the inevitability is the choice that the filmmaker has. Within intertextuality, I want to speak about illusion specifically. There are many ways that this can be done in a film, and I want to share three that I think use this technique effectively in a way that furthers the purpose and narrative of the film. So, when thinking about illusion, I wanted to talk about three different movies that I enjoy and that I think use this technique really effectively. I was unable to embed them successfully in the YouTube video and still be able to record, or I was unable to successfully embed the YouTube video and still be able to record on the PowerPoint. So I've provided the links in the PowerPoint as well as directions for what to watch. So I'll leave space for folks to click the link and watch the clip and then to return to the PowerPoint. So Bottoms is a comedy that came out earlier this year about two girls who wanted to connect with their crushes. They are both interested in girls romantically and determined that the best way to do this is through a female fight club. You can click the link to go to the first 20 seconds of the clip provided. So once you watch those first few seconds, you'll see that the film names its point of reference explicitly. Fight Club does not share the same genre as Bottoms, but it's for this reason that the reference lands really well. An all-girls fight club at a high school that is being chaperoned by Marshawn Lynch is very funny. It's absurd, and the tone of Bottoms is so far removed from Fight Club that it enhances the comedy of the film. It really creates an unbelievable scenario that will inevitably end in some kind of disaster, but the comedic impact is effective and gets you laughing from the start. So in this way, the reference builds out the comedy and elevates it almost, because the film is obviously very self-aware that this is absurd, and by creating a comedy out of another film that is so bleak and dark, it's the juxtaposition that makes it so funny. So I think it's a really effective use of this technique. Genie is a 2023 Christmas movie about a man who is just separated from his wife, and she has taken their daughter with them. It's kind of this idea of like this man who has been working too hard and has lost the importance. It's that trope, right? That holiday trope that this man has lost the real idea of what is Christmas. So I'll pause so that you can watch the clip from 18 to 36 seconds. It's in this scene that we see him rubbing the quote-unquote lamp, releasing the genie, and we see the genie stating, your wish is my command. They later go on to make a joke about, the three wishes idea, and they dispel that. But while this genie character is influenced by other elements of folklore, the reference to Disney's Aladdin is unmistakable. The sharing of this fantasy, this fantastical creature, this genie, and the sharing of the history allows us to establish some rules as the audience because of how impactful the film Aladdin has been in determining the history of genies and how they interact with their quote-unquote masters. This allows us to develop a shared understanding of how this genie dynamic will work without needing to dive into the lore of it all very much. We don't need to go on a quest to find information from an academic or anything like that. So instead of spending time on that, it can be spent on the levity and the family elements of the story, and not focusing in on the genie's history and magical background. We have an understanding because the film makes it clear that there's a connection here between this genie and other genies we've definitely met in our lives. This keeps the film lighthearted and a laid-back viewing, which is appropriate for the genre of a family Christmas movie. Finally, in Midsummer, we have this scene. I'll pause so that you can watch it. And this scene is a reference to the famous opening credits scene of The Shining, a zoomed out camera following a car. Except in The Shining, the foreboding music is what gives us the hint that something tense is on the horizon. Tense obviously being reductive. It's horrifying what happens at the hotel. But in Midsummer, director Ari Aster disorients the audience by a little bit of music following the car, but it's really the flipping of the camera and that makes the perspective jarring in a way that makes the viewer uncomfortable and kind of physically nauseous because of how disorienting it is and the motion sickness that can occur. So it's in this way that an element is given, a reference is made, and the director of Midsummer is able to build off of it and enhance the trepidation of the audience without having to recreate the wheel. So in summary, illusions in intertextuality are a great way to take a common thread in a shared universe and use them as a tool to enhance the storytelling and narrative of the film.